Welcome in, guys. Happy Friday. We got a nice loaded MLB card coming up today. A lot of good spots, a lot of value on this card, and it was one hell of a Thursday in the MLB. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of crazy games going around, walk-offs, everything else. But it's still a winning day in the MLB. Did not get it done with NBA. We'll get into that Game 6 later on in this episode. John, up and down Thursday with the MLB. I mean, start off crushing the line with Cincinnati. They don't pull that one out. And then we get Rockies who look like they're smooth in control and then blow it in the late, and then they get the walk-off in the ninth. And the Nationals, they were down. They come back, hit the late dogs with Baltimore and Detroit. Crazy MLB day, but ended up panning out the dogs.
Look, great day if you're an adrenaline junkie. You had it going both ways. Before the game even started, we started our day 8:30 in the morning, absolutely crushing the line. No Goldschmidt, no Arenado for St. Louis. We took $1.50 before that info comes out. That line went over. We beat the line by 35, 40 cents, depending on your book. Those are the games you got to win. Even if you lose, It's the epitome of what I say, guys, all the time. Right side, wrong result. Everybody in the world was on that game. Every sharp guy in the world was on that game. Just didn't win it. And that's going to happen. And that's going to happen more than 50% of the times that we bet, because we bet 90% underdogs. All dogs yesterday. So our next game was the Rockies. Go up 6-2 in the ninth. Never a safe lead at Coors Field. Two-run homers in the top of the ninth, and then you squeeze it out in the bottom of the ninth. So we get that W. So now we're back on a high. San Diego takes the lead, goes 6-5 into the ninth inning. And the Nationals, Nationals take a 6-5 lead to the ninth. And we took a 170-something. That was a 170-something dog. Weren't interested if you watched the podcast yesterday. It would be Nationals or nobody, we said. Then the line just kept going up, which made it enough for us. It was a half a bet, but still want to win that game. And Padres get three in the ninth and snatch the W. Then come back with two winners at nighttime. Orioles, just no respect. I mean, they just get no respect. Gibson has a clear pitching advantage over Schmidt. I mean, he's just got a clear pitching advantage. Can't say they're even. He's the better pitcher. Has he been great this year? No, but he's definitely the better pitcher. Anyway, Baltimore Orioles, second best record, second best road record. They're making a dog every day, and so we jump on that one. And then just the White Sox do what the White Sox do. We think they're getting ready to go to that next level. Giolito had been pitching good, but they just made them too much of a favorite. We take the home dog Tigers, and we get a W in that one. So 3-2 in baseball. Legitimately could have been a 5-0 sweep. I mean, we lose the Reds 2-1. Nats have the lead in the ninth. All dogs, guys. This is what makes it worth following me. No 220s, 180, the two biggest favorites in a parlay and calling it a parlay. You don't get that here. You get the dogs, live dogs we bet. Every once in a while we'll have a favorite. Today got an eye on a couple of favorites. If you listen to the previews on the games, you'll find out who. Jump over to basketball, and that game was over in the first quarter. Didn't have to look more than that. Knew we were on the wrong side. From that point on, I mean, we were just hoping for a backdoor, which, as ugly as it was, had a legitimate shot towards the end to backdoor that game. That gives you an idea how big 8 points is in the playoffs. Totally outmatched. This series has this series has absolutely stunned me. I was stunned how bad the Celtics looked in games 1 through 3. Mind you, we bet on the Heat. Game 1, just watching some linemen. Celtics then lose game 2, get blown out in game 3. In a game that I thought they would come back and win at halftime. And then, that was game 2. I liked the Celtics in game 2, so we lost that one. And then they get blown out in game 3. Game 4, they lose. Heat lose on their home court. And we figure, okay, game 5, 8 points, just a lot of points. We put up, every stat in the world said take the Heat +8. So I believe the Celtics were had lost. They were 0-5 straight up and against the spread. Their last 5 at home at 8 points or more. Heat 5-0 against this 4-1 straight up, 5-0 against the spread. Their last 5 on the road is an 8-point dog or more. Celtics 4-5 straight up and against the spread at home in the playoffs. Heat have been the best road team in the playoffs. Everything said Heat, and Celtics went and showed why they can win it all. They've totally turned it around. Yeah. After the first 3 games, ugly as could be, they've now held the Heat under 100. That's 2 games in a row. Heat could be feeling the apple. They could be feeling it. They don't win that game tomorrow night. They ain't winning Game 7 in Boston.
Yeah, I'm almost hoping the Celtics complete the 7-game comeback just so I can go put the biggest bet of my life in Denver Game 1 of the NBA Finals. That'll just be the biggest letdown opportunity, the extra rest, everything else. So I'm hoping that spot opens up for the Nuggets Game 1. But yeah, Miami, I mean, they just got the choke on right now. We'll get into that Game 6 a little bit later on this. We have a lot of MLB games today, a lot of dogs on the card, John. This first one is Reds at Cubs. Green versus Steel. Cincinnati, we obviously were on them yesterday. They don't get it done against St. Louis. They split that 4-game series, just 2-6 their last 8. Cubs come in. They were crushed by the Mets yesterday, but they won 2 of 3 in that series. Steel, I mean, he's been great at home. 4-0, 1.48, 8 of his 10 starts, quality starts. Green, last 2 starts, not good. 10 runs, 11 innings, 18 Ks, 4 walks. He's a guy who can give you a good outing, but he just hasn't looked quite as good as he did at the back end of last season. As last year progressed, he did get better. We'll see if that happens here. Would be a slight lean to Cincinnati, but I'm not wanting to go against Steel in those home numbers.
No, not with Green. Home run ball. That's what's killing him. Nice little strikeout to ratio, 18-4 strikeout to walk ratio, but four homers in the last 2 games. That's just not going to get it done. I had said earlier, Reds, they're sitting Fraley and Friedel. They're 2 best left-handed hitters, obviously sitting them against Steele, the left-hand pitcher. Cubbies, they're going to be sitting Suzuki, Wisdom, and Gomes today. I think the number's where it should be. I made this game myself 155. The opener was 165, so a little higher than I thought it should be, but it's now down to 141, a little bit on the low side. I'm in the middle with the game. I've already made 5 bets, guys. I'm looking at a couple of more. So this is one that I don't need to get involved in.
Then we have Phillies at Atlanta. Braves get their playoff revenge yesterday with the 8-5 win. They've won 7 of the last 10 regular season meetings in Atlanta. Obviously, Phillies beat them in 4 games in the NLDS last year. Schuster versus Walker. Schuster, first 3 career starts were ugly. 4th one, though, quality start, 1 run in 6 innings. And a 3-2 win over the Mariners. And then Walker, he has been struggling a little bit, but then he's coming off 5.1 shutout innings over the Cubs. 2 starts versus the Braves last year, 8 runs in 3 innings. It's about as bad as it gets. So lean here to a little bit to Atlanta. I think you're getting a little bit of a discount with Schuster on the mound. Not really want to getting involved in this game. Too much of a favorite price to lay there. Phillies aren't hitting. Walker's not pitching great. Horrible matchup stats. It's the favorite or nobody with the Braves for me, but I don't think Schuster is necessarily someone I want to back as a favorite.
Schuster pitched a hell of a game against us last time. He actually beat us. We took the Mariners against them. Just gave up 1 hit. That 1 hit happened to be a long ball, but he looked real good. He had been back down. They had sent him back down. He made 3 starts earlier in April that were terrible. Looked real good. Got to give him the pitching edge over Walker, who's been very inconsistent. Solid number, though. That's where the number should be. A lot of hitting from these teams. Braves, second in the league in home runs. So that's what we saw a lot last night. This game could be either way, but I think the number's fair.
And we have Giants at Brewers. This Giants team right now red hot, 8-2 their last 10. You have the Brewers. They get the win yesterday to open up the series. Brewers did win 2 of 3 in Milwaukee last year. Wood versus Peralta. How about Peralta this year? He's been great at home, 4-1, 2.43 ERA in 5 starts. Wood, he had some issues. Then he comes back. He's had a pair of starts since then. Give up 6 runs in 9 innings. this is Peralta and nobody for me for the Brewers. Now, I don't want to be going against San Francisco right now. They're red hot. I could understand the value in them as a dog, just a drastic pitching edge. I make this line higher with his pitching edge with Peralta.
Yeah, big pitching edge was Peralta. Look, he had that one terrible start against St. Louis. Last start was okay, and that was that Tampa Bay start. Before that was St. Louis. They got him for 6 runs in 5 1/3. Prior to that, 3 straight quality starts. He's a quality pitcher, Peralta. Definitely got to have an pitching advantage over Wood. But Giants have been hot, and the Brewers just not scoring. Brewers this year now. Let's pull up the stats, guys. I got the Brewers now. The 2-2 scoring just 3 runs per game on this homestand. They're hitting .213 this week and just .209 versus left-hand pitching. Now the thing is, Giants, while winning 8 of 10, they're hitting just .226 this week. So 2 teams not hitting. I just make this a bigger number for Milwaukee. So my lean is to Peralta and the Brewers.
And we have Mets taking a trip to Coors, Scherzer versus.
For a second, so this top game, the Cubs game, we just talked about it. They're hitting the short. This game is now down as low as 131 at Circa. This is a game that opened 165. So yeah, Cubs guys, Suzuki, Wisdom, and Gomes, but that's a big number to drop down. That's Steele at home. We'll be looking at see if this line goes down any further.
Yeah, Cubs have been struggling the last couple of weeks, but Steele and Stroman been their best shots at it. Mets at Coors. It's Scherzer versus Seabold. Scherzer, he's been looking better last 2 starts. 1 run, 11 innings, 11 Ks, 3 walks. Had a quality start versus the Rockies last year, but that game was in New York. He has 6 career starts at Coors, 0-3, 6.39. Now, granted, some of those go back to even like 2008. He hasn't pitched at Coors, I believe, since it was 2019. So been a bit, but still, Coors Field, tough place to pitch. And then Seabold, he's been horrible. Last 2 starts, 11 runs and 8 innings. Tough to do that, but hey, I mean, this is home dog or nobody with Colorado. I mean, Rockies at home, it's what they do. Obviously, with Scherzer, you're going to get a lot of value there in the Rockies. Could also play the over there. I know Friday night, Coors Field, a lot of people like to play the total. Wouldn't be a bad one, I don't think, even with Scherzer on the mound today.
What do we got here? We got Mets 4-11 their last 15 road games. Rockies 10-4 their last 14 home games. We've been saying this all year, guys. We're on the Rockies every year at home. I think it's 1 year in the last 15 years that they finished under 500 at home, and that was the COVID year. They're going to be 500 or better at home. There's always value on the Rockies. There's value there again. Shears is probably going to beat them. The Mets are probably going to beat them, but there's no way in the world he should be at 205, 210. It just cannot be. Ben gave you his stats at Coors Field, and he's been ugly on the road this year. Seabold is garbage. There's no question about it. This is Coors Field. Anything could happen. 185 for a Mets team that's struggling on the road against the Rockies that are playing well at home. Just have to take that. I made that a half bet. We're on the Rockies plus 185.
Yeah, with your point on the Rockies, above 500 team at home. I mean, they were underdogs that entire series against Miami. I mean, who were the Marlins to be 4 straight road favorites at Coors? So getting some value there, disrespect against the Rockies right now. Next game, White Sox at Tigers. Tigers get it done yesterday. White Sox won 7 of 9 at Detroit last year. Lynn versus Wentz. Lynn turned it around last couple of starts. Quality starts, 5 runs, 3 earned, and 13 innings. 2 starts for the Tigers last year, decent, 5 and 10 1/3. As far as Wentz, he smacked last 2 starts, 9 runs and 4 2/3. Been a bit better at home, but still 6+ ERA. Pitching edge to Lynn right now, and haven't said that much this year. So pitching edge to Lynn. Still, though, this would be a Tigers game or nothing for me. White Sox, just like you said at the start of this, just when it looks like they're going to turn it around, they don't. So maybe similar with Lynn. I mean, he turned around a couple of starts. Can he do it for a 3rd straight? Lean to the Tigers, not back in Wentz, though.
Lynn is better than his overall record, but he has been turning around, as you said. Good numbers against in these last 2 starts. Lynn, 13 innings, 13 Ks, just 2 walks. Those are Lance Lynn numbers. So 2 great starts. Wentz, a punching bag, horrible. The thing is here, cannot make the White Sox this number when they're hitting just 186 this week.
Mm.
Tigers, they've won 3 of 4, scoring 5.5 runs per game. Tigers, similar to the Rockies, they get their share of wins at home. It was too big a number yesterday. That's why we're on the Tigers yesterday at home. And as terrible as Wentz is, I'm not on this game yet, but it's Tigers or nobody as a home dog. This game opened 135 last night. It's as high as 152 at Sports 411 right now. So it's only going up. Goes up higher. We'll be forced to take a little play on the Tigers.
And we have the second and third best teams in the AL. Rangers at Baltimore. O's coming off this series with the Yankees. They went 5-6 or 5-1 on the 6-game trip. Rangers, they get the win at Pitt Wednesday. They're coming off an off day. They've won 5 of 6, scoring 8.8 runs per game. 2 teams getting it done. Rangers, bit more offensive focus. Orioles, bit more pitching focused. And Texas, they have Gray on the mound. He's been solid. Last 3 starts, 2 runs, 20 innings, 19 Ks, 4 walks. Did have a quality start versus the O's earlier this year. Rodriguez, Orioles have won 7 of his last 8 starts. And it's not like he's been lights out. They're just playing well with him. He's had some rough starts. Last one was good, though. 2 runs in 5 innings against Toronto. Orioles do own this matchup. 8 of the last 9 meetings. They won 2 of 3 at Texas this year, all 3 at Baltimore last year. Rodriguez cannot be a favorite over Gray. This is the best offense in baseball, the third best record in the AL, 1 game behind Baltimore right now. As good as the O's are, I cannot make Rodriguez this big of a number over Gray. Rangers' offense is too good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, this number is only this number because of the trend. But let's take the trend with a grain of salt. They won 2 of 3 in Texas this year. Yes. All 6 last year. Texas, a little bit of a different team last year. This year, different team. As Ben said, lead major leagues in homers. Excuse me, not homers. Lead major leagues in scoring. Lead major leagues in team batting average. They had an off day. Orioles, tough road trip. 2 division rivals. Blue Jays, they sweep. Take 2 of 3 from the Yankees, including a tough one last night. Rangers have been off for 2 days. Big pitching advantage for Gray. How the Orioles have won 7 of 8 of Rodriguez's starts is inexplainable. The guy's got a 6.21 ERA. He's been walking through raindrops. Huge pitching advantage for Gray. The Rangers get a team advantage, especially because Orioles are returning and they to home after the tough 2 series they had. Rangers had the day off. Again, the trend is the only thing that makes them the favorite. I say the trend ends tonight. I'm all over the Rangers in this one.
Then we have Toronto at Minnesota. Interesting matchup. Blue Jays last place team in the AL East. Twins first place team in the AL Central. And Jays still have the better record. So for the Blue Jays, if you want to keep up in your division in the East, you got to take care of these Central teams. And they get Gosman on the mound today. It's a good pitcher to try and do it. 8 of his 10 starts are quality starts. Last 3, 5 runs in 21 innings, 23 Ks, 4 walks. They're not scoring, though. Toronto comes in losing 7 of 8. What did they scored 3 runs in just 3 of the last 10 games. And then you have this Twins team. They're coming off a win against the Giants, but they've lost 5 of 7. They have Varland on the mound, who's been solid. This is a slight lean here to Minnesota. I mean, this number, I get it. Gosman's good, but Varland's been very good. I mean, 2 with the last 3 starts been quality starts, been very serviceable. Toronto not hitting, can't make them this big of a road favorite. But I will say, just as far as the season, this is a series Toronto needs to take care of business. So lean to the Twins, but not looking to go against the Jays. And what's kind of a must-win game, they're coming off Yankees, Rays, and Orioles, and now they get the Twins with the Rays on the mound.
All that is true, but they're just 13-16 on the road. Twins are 15-10 at home. As Ben was saying, they've now lost. Toronto has now lost 7 of their last 8 games. They've scored 3 runs, or they've scored more than 3 runs in just 3 of their last 10. So yeah, they banged out 20 that one game against Tampa Bay. But they could have won that game 2-1, had the same significance. They're not scoring runs. With them not scoring runs, neither team's playing well. Just can't make Gosman this big a favorite on the road. Varland's, like Ben said, serviceable. 2.92 ERA, 2 home starts. Minnesota's been good at home. They usually are good at home. Too big a number, home dog or nobody.
Then we have Astros at A's. I won't even say it today, John. Don't even think about betting the A's, guys. It's not worth it. Their chance was last night with Sears. Oakland hadn't been swept in a 4-game series at Seattle since 1991, and they got a great start from Sears. Didn't matter. Don't even think about it, but it's Caprillion versus Brown today. Brown, he's been decent. He had a quality start his last time out. He was really good at the start of the year, hit a few bumps, but coming off a bounce-back start against Oakland. And then it's Caprillion. He's actually been good. 4 runs in 12 innings his last 2 starts, but it's just Oakland. I mean, you can't bat Oakland. Big number here. Astros had the win streak. They lose 2 at Milwaukee, being shut out twice in a row. Could maybe be an under game. A's aren't hitting right now. Astros shut out their last 2 games. But other than that, I don't see much value in this one, John.
I think Astros got shut out 2 days in a row and had an off day yesterday. They got to be salivating to get to Oakland. Oakland has a 6.88 team ERA. The Astros will go there. They'll start hitting by the time they get off the plane. A's, you guys will say it every day. Historically bad. This team now on pace to win 31 games out of 162 games. We can give you all the stats. Want them? Here they are. They're batting 177 this week. Last in hitting, 222 for the year. 29th in scoring, 3.5 runs per game. They're the worst team in baseball by far. Want nothing to do with them. Even though Caprillion has been decent last couple of games, like I said, I think Houston's just going to be real pissed off, coming in ornery after being shut out 2 days in a row and having an off day. Oakland getting swept again last night. They're horrible. Not saying go late 250, but not interested in the A's.
Then fun matchup, Dodgers at Tampa Bay, World Series rematch from 2020. First time they've met since then. Dodgers got Syndergaard on the bump on the road. 0-1, 10.29 ERA in 4 starts. Just abysmal on the road. He did have a good start against the Rays last year. But his home road splits are up to what Greinke's was last year. Is it 3 ERA at home, 10 plus on the road? That's a crazy differential. Can't back him on the road. Tampa Bay going with a bullpen day. Beeks and Criswell didn't fare them well at Milwaukee. This is World Series revenge with the Rays are the best home record in the MLB, one of the better offenses, obviously, in the MLB against the guy who's probably the worst road pitcher in the MLB. So Tampa Bay are nothing in this game. If you guys, I will say Beeks, the bullpen game, not jumping out of my seat for it. I think this Rays offense gets it done. Another way you guys can bet this game, the team total for Tampa Bay is set at 4.5, and I have a feeling they might put up that 4.5 on Syndergaard alone. So I like that over on the Rays team total tonight.
It's Tampa Bay and nobody for me. But this line's actually come down a little bit. Minus 120 on the overnight, down to 110 sitting right now. Not crazy, as Ben said, but the bullpen game. They're going to use Beeks as an opener. He'll hand the ball off to Criswell. So Beeks has been used as an opener. In the last 3 times, been used as an opener. He goes 2 innings. So figure him for 2 innings again this time. So this tandem pitched against the Brewers the last time. Beeks gave up a run in the 2 innings. Criswell fouled. He gave up 4 runs. They lost that game. So it's tough to go against the Dodgers like that. They'll want this game. This is a low number for the best team, the best home team in the league right now. Syndergaard's just been awful on the road. So, even with these terrible pitches, it's the Rays or nobody. One caveat here. Yandy Diaz, 11 home runs, tied for the team lead, 321 with the team lead in batting average. He's missed the last few games, questionable. We'll wait to see if he's in the lineup and then how much lower this game goes.
And we have Padres at Yankees. Yankees opened up as a home dog. That line's starting to tick down the other way. Musgrove versus Vasquez. I mean, first, the San Diego team, they're starting to turn around a little bit. They've won 3 of 4, scoring 6.3 runs per game. They almost blew the lead last night. It looks like they're just going to be in their same San Diego form they've been this year. And then Odor comes up with a big 3-run shot that puts them up. So they won 3 of 4 now, turning it around. Yankees struggled in that series with the O's. They lost the last 2. They scored just 3.5 runs per game after the win streak. This would be still Yankees or nobody. I mean, Padres is a road favorite at the Yankee Stadium, one of the better teams in baseball. Not looking to go against that. But Vasquez on the mound here for New York will make his debut. Not good AAA numbers, 4.85 ERA. It's a tough spot here. I mean, San Diego, bats get going. Now you're going to get a rookie in his debut at Yankee Stadium. That might be the most hitter-friendly ballpark. So could be just the recipe the Padres needed to continue to get going. But Musgrove hasn't been any better. Putting him in that Yankee Stadium, I don't think it's going to go well. So lean to the over in this game, lean to the Yankees.
Musgrove has not been right since returning. He's not right now. The only reason I can think about pulling the trigger with this rookie. Terrible stats, 1-5, 4.85 ERA in 9 AAA starts. Padres, are they turning it around a little bit? 7 runs in 3 of their last 4, 7 runs or more in 3 of their last 4 games. And they catch the rookie. But hey, it's Yankees and nobody is a home dog. This line has come down. All the sharp money's on the Yankees. We'll see what happens with this one later on. If everybody's in, would have to be the dog or nobody.
Then we have Cardinals at Guardians. Interesting line on this game. Opened up as a bigger favorite for Cleveland, but coming down to a PK, and even St. Louis going to the favorite with Bieber versus Liberatore. Bieber definitely gets the pitching edge. I mean, 8 of his 10 starts are quality starts. He's coming off a bounce back, 2 runs in 8 innings. Faced the Cardinals in 2021 with a quality start. Liberatore, he was used in relief last time out. Before that, 5 shutout innings versus Milwaukee. I mean, he's only had a handful of starts in his career. Last year, 5 road starts was abysmal, 8+ ERA. Cardinals winning. Cardinals are hitting. They sat their 3 bats yesterday with Arenado, Goldschmidt, and Contreras. They get the day off, so they're coming in rejuvenated here. I understand the appeal. They're hot. Guardians are cold. What is it? Guardians scoring 1.5 runs per game their last 4. Not hitting at all, but this pitching edge might be a bit too drastic to ignore. That number comes down anymore. It's got to be the Guardians.
I can't pull the trigger on Cleveland. I just can't. They just can't hit the ball. We bet against Liberatore in his one and only start this year with Milwaukee, and he threw 5 shutout innings against them. So he'll come up against a Cleveland team. Cleveland batting 197 this week, 219 versus lefties, and 28th hitting 225 for the year. As Ben said, a run and a half per game. And then their last 4. Look, Bieber looked great. He loses a tough game, a matchup with the Mets. He loses 2-1 on Sunday Night Baseball this past Sunday night. Just definite pitching edge. Just cannot get behind Cleveland. You just feel if they give up 3 runs, they're dead. Just not scoring. I'm not saying St. Louis is the play here. Definitely not at this number. But that's what the sharp guys are saying. This game opened 135, which was high. 125 to me was a definite take with the Cardinals. This game now is a pick 'em game. I got no interest in this game. I don't make it pick 'em. I make it Cleveland a dime. There's not enough room for me to go bet Cleveland at this spot, not when they can't score.
Yeah, it could also be an under game there. Like you said, can't score. Bieber pitching well. We'll see what happens. Nats versus Kansas City on the road there. Corbin, I mean, just a turnaround this year, looking back to what he used to be. 4 straight quality starts, 9 runs in 25 innings. And then it's Lyles for Kansas City, just been abysmal. They've lost all 10 of his starts. And in May, he's given up 24 runs in 21 1/3, just horrible. And Nats pretty good on the road, getting it done. They're coming off blowing that lead against San Diego. They went 3-3 on the trip, hitting .306 this week. 4th hitting .265 this year. This is lineup edge, clear as day to Nationals. Pitching edge, clear as day to Nationals. And why they opened up as a road dog, I do not understand it. Nats all the way, John.
Because they're Nationals. That's their name is the Nationals. So they're 3-3 at home. Ben, I think, said on the road trip, but it was 3-3 at home. Blow a tough one yesterday afternoon. Don't look now. Washington Nationals have the 4th best team batting average in Major League Baseball, 265. They're hitting .306 this week. Kansas City batting a cool 191 this last week. They can't score. The Nationals can. They're never dead. Look, Corbin, horrible last year. He has turned it around. He's found some magic. It's not 1, it's not 2. It's 4 straight real good starts. He gets the pitching edge. This is a no-brainer. I already gave this game out. I got Nationals in this one. We took +113, by the way. Game is now pick 'em.
And then it's Marlins at Angels. Marlins, they lost at Colorado yesterday. Obviously, that crazy game. They tie it late just to lose it in the 9th. And then you have the Angels. They're coming off the off day after beating the Sox. I did say the Angels were going to start to go on their downfall, and they kind of proved me wrong a little bit. They won 4 straight, scoring 4.3 runs per game. We'll see if that downfall comes sooner than later. Pitching edge goes to Luzardo tonight. He was cracked at San Francisco his last time out, and he's been worse on the road this year, 2-2, 5.91 ERA. But a pretty good start against the Angels last year, 1 run in 5 innings. It's Detmer's last 2 starts, 5 runs in 10 2/3. Angels have lost 5 of his 7 starts. This is Miami or nobody here. Big price for Detmers, not looking to lay him as a favorite. And, Miami goes in that series of Colorado, lose 3 or 4 at Coors. Sometimes, that first game out of Coors, your bats are a little bit cooler. So we'll see if that's the effect here for Miami. Need to see what's going on with the Reyes in that lineup. But Marlins are no one, John.
This is a smaller team. They're batting 290 this week. They bat 288 versus left-hand pitchers. They just don't turn those into runs. They did yesterday in Coors, but that's Coors Field. They're 28th in scoring, 3.67 runs per game. Arias, who leads Major League Baseball in batting average, didn't play yesterday. He's going to be questionable, and sometimes they sit him against the lefty anyway, so you might see him not in the lineup against Detmers. To me, this number is too high. Miami, as bad as they're playing right now on the road, losing 5 of their last 7, just a little too high. Lazaro, though, hasn't been great on the road. Just not enough room for me. I got so many other better bets than this one. We'll look to see lineups and where this one line goes later on today.
Then we have Red Sox at D-backs. How about Chris Sale? I think Chris Sale's turnaround might be just as impressive as what the Celtics are doing right now in Boston. I mean, 4 straight quality starts, 7 runs, 27 and a third, 32 Ks, 3 walks. He's back to what he was looking like beforehand. He has had some road struggles, 6+ ERA. Last 2 road starts were quality starts, though. And then for the D-backs, it's however that name's pronounced. I got to do a Google search on how that name's pronounced. But they've won 3 of his 4 starts. Last 2, 4 runs and 10 and a third. This is definitely a pitching edge here to Boston. Numbers a bit steep in Arizona. I know you were saying it all this week, John. Arizona not getting any respect. Here, pretty good price as a home dog. Pitching edge is to Sale, but Boston, they are not scoring on this trip right now. Last 4 straight, scoring just 4 runs. D-backs are no one.
Yeah, D-backs are nobody. As good as Sale's been, and he's been real good. Huge pitching advantage here is the only thing that didn't make me hit this number. The shops are already on the home dog in this one. Just was a little tough for me to pull the trigger against Sale. The numbers that I love to see, 32 Ks, 3 walks in his last 27 and a third innings, tells me he's doing just what he wants to do. But they're not hitting. Red Sox, they've lost 4 straight, scoring a total of 4 runs, hitting 187, and they're batting just 223 away from Fenway this year. So a different team on the road. Too big of a number. It's home dog or nobody in this one. The shops already took some of the value away. I would need it to go back up in order to make this a play on the Diamondbacks. But yeah, the Arizona just not getting enough credit. They're on their way to a 3-game sweep. And Philly come up with that game just to take that one away from them. But they've had a day off. They come back home dog or nobody.
And then last game on the card is best pitching matchup of the night, Keller versus Kirby. Keller, 8 of his last 9 starts are quality starts. Last 3, 2 runs, 22 innings, 29 Ks, 1 walk. Kirby, 8 straight quality starts. Last 3, 4 runs, 20 and 2/3, 21 Ks, 2 walks. So 2 pitchers absolutely lights out right now. Could be an underplay on this one, as square as it is. It's a low total, but it feels like we're just going to be in for a pitching duel tonight. Seattle not really hitting. I mean, we're talking about against Oakland. They weren't doing as much damage as they should have been. So they were playing well. They swept that 4-game series, not dominant offensively. And then Pirates have lost 4 or 5, scoring 3 runs per game, 2 and 7 their last 9 road games. But for how good these 2 pitchers are, way too big of a gap here in the price. Pirates are no one. I mean, Keller's just been dominant.
Yeah, great pitches duel tonight. Let's see what happens in this one. Caveat with Seattle, yeah, they just had a 4-game sweep over Oakland. But the last 3 games, just averaging 4 runs a game. Again, against the team that has a 6.88 team ERA. Worst by far in the major leagues. Before the 4 games against Oakland, they dropped 4 of 5, and they would score just 3.6 runs per game. So a little bit of an overlay because of the last 4-game sweep makes their numbers jump up with the algorithms. Hey, pitches duel, taking plus 140 or better. I'll take a shot with the Pirates. Keller has been great. Kirby also.
No.
But 2 teams and you're figuring a low-scoring game, it's just that one mistake. Either team could make it. Pirates haven't been great on the road. Just would rather have them going with as the dog in this type of game.
And that's the MLB card, guys. A lot of spots. Like John said at the start, already a lot of bets out. Chance for a lot more to be made. Just have to see on some of these lineups where some of these lines go. But big value on this Friday card. And John, I know we're not going to be here over the weekend, but Heat Celtics Game 6. Let's talk about it. I mean, does Miami choke it? I mean, wow.
Look, first of all, I want to see a couple of things on injuries. We didn't think Vincent would be so big yesterday. Maybe he's a little bigger than we thought. Like to see if he's going to be in the lineup. We won't know. Also, Brogdon dealing with an injury. He hasn't been. This was the sixth man of the year. Not playing real well, but he's dealing with an injury also. Tale of between games 1 and 3 and 4 and 5. I mean, it's just two different worlds, two different universes. Heat looked phenomenal, as they had looked the whole playoffs in the first 3 games. And now it looks like they're gagging. They looked dead. Again, in the first quarter, you knew, okay, they weren't going to win. Maybe we have a shot at a backdoor cover down the road, but you knew in the first quarter we're not going to win this game. Celtics were the best team left in the playoffs. Coming into the playoffs, I had the Bucks just a little bit better than them. But it looked like first of all, they were getting out-coached. And they still will. Spoelstra's just a better coach than Missoula. We talked about it yesterday after game 3, actually telling reporters he just didn't have his team ready to play. Again, that probably was an answer to deflect blame to his players because his players were playing so poorly. But you just can't say something like that. They've bounced back. And the biggest thing, defense. Held the Heat to under 100 points 2 games in a row. I told you guys yesterday, if the Celtics would need to shoot 40% from 3, they shot over 40% from 3, they won the game. But again, 8 points was just a huge number. And as bad of a blowout as it was, there was a legitimate shot towards the end of the game. So something happens here or there, a missed bucket by the Celtics, and you backdoor the cover. Not a big number now. It's 2.5. That's the right number. Guys, if you're a How to Beat the Bookie member, go to my ratings page. I got the Heat rated 42.0 on the road. I've got the Celtics rated 42.0 on the road. I've got Miami rated 39.5 at home. That is exactly 2.5 points. That's what the line should be. Got to figure in the injuries. Like I said, is Vincent in? Is he in at 100%? Is he out? Brogdon, what's his story? The momentum right now has got to be all Boston. Miami has got to feel the pressure of being the team to blow a 3-0 lead in 150 series is never happened before. So right now, I don't have a bet on this one. Doesn't mean we won't. Doesn't mean we looking at the first half we won't. We'll see what happens in this one, Ben.
Yeah, as far as that game 5, Jimmy Butler took the 4th most shots on his team. That can't happen. You know, it was 5 for 10. I mean, you can't only take 10 shots. He has to be demanding more. He has to be more aggressive. And then guys who were more aggressive, obviously with Vincent out, you had Lowry and Adebayo doing more ball handling, 10 turnovers between the two of them. Can't happen in this game 6. This social media era of sports is so fascinating because Boston goes down 3-0. Jason Tatum and the Celtics, you know, they're the joke of the NBA. But I don't think I'm ever going to see a 360 flip from Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, all this love for Jimmy Butler. And this guy blows a 3-0 lead. That is a massive taint to the legacy. So he's got more than 10 shots because he's going to be taking the brunt. Yes, Miami Heat blows the lead. Spoelstra's to blame. You have the injuries. Jimmy Butler will take the majority of this. He has to be more aggressive. And I hope we see that playoff Jimmy in game 6. Otherwise, it'll be going back to Boston.
Look, series far from over. Can I see the Heat coming back to win? Absolutely. I'm not still no lock in this series. Got to go down to Miami. Look, they've had success there before. They've won, I believe, 4 of their last 5 games on the Heat's home floor. Remember, that's where they wrapped up Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals last year. He'll have that in the back of their mind also. Guys, this is a tough one. I'll tell you all again. I don't bet for entertainment. This might be a game you want to watch for entertainment, but not bet. I don't see an edge on this game really right now. I saw an edge with the Heat last night, and I was wrong. Happens. I thought 8 points, just too many points. 2.5 points looks like the right line to me. this could be a game to bet live. This could be a game to bet halftime. Once you get a feel of what team is showing up. If the Heat team shows up that played games 1 through 3, he'll wrap up the series. If the Heat team shows up that played games 4 or 5, they're going to be knocked out because there's no way they're going to win a game 7 in Boston. That's my feeling on the games, Ben. I got a lot of work to do today. We're starting a busy weekend. 5 baseball dogs already, a couple of more. I think I'm going to have at least a couple of more baseball bets, maybe even 1 or 2 favorites, believe it or not. So let's get moving.
Yep, huge card, guys. If you guys haven't already, go check out the website, howtobeatthebookie.com. Go to the App Store, Google Play, download the How to Beat the Bookie app. Become a member. For all you guys who've been tuning in through these Monday through Friday, appreciate you guys. Keep up the views, likes, comments, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Help us grow. John, busy weekend ahead. Let's make some money.
Yeah, hey, look, guys, have a healthy, safe, hopefully a prosperous, especially betting sports, Memorial Day weekend. But be careful driving out there. And, yeah, let's make some money.